Okay, good morning everyone. So we have already started the chapter The Enemy, right? So I will be giving you a very short, let's have a glance over the portion we have covered, right, yesterday. You're already aware that the chapter revolves around Dr. Sadao and his wife Hannah, and they have come across a POW, American prisoner of war, at their doorstep, and he is in a very dying state, right? So Dr. Sadao, he's in a dilemma whether to save the man, because he's a doctor, so his first and foremost duty is to save the dying man, right? And at the same time, he is also a patriot, right? He's also a citizen of Japan. So being a good citizen and a law-abiding citizen, his foremost duty is to hand over the prisoner to the army, right? And this is the dilemma he's facing. So it's very, he doesn't know what to do, right? So this is what we are going to find out, whether he is going to hand over the enemy to the police or to the army, or is he going to operate upon the prisoner of war. And eventually you will see that he fulfills both the situation. And the question is that how does he fulfill both the situations? So he, in the beginning of the chapter, the author Pearl, she introduced the main character, and she told us about that how Hannah and Dr. Sadao, they met in America, and we also got to know that Dr. Sadao's father, he was an Orthodox Japanese, right? And his chief concern was his son's education. That is why Dr. Sadao was sent to America to study surgeon or that can be learned in the field of medicine, right? Understand? And then the war broke out. He returned to Japan at the age of 30, right? And when he returned, he was a full-fledged. He had already become a full-fledged or a well-versed doctor, right? So Dr. Sadao's father, he was able to see him becoming a doctor, right? And then he died. Understand? And then he shares an incident where he talks about that in what circumstances Hannah and Dr. Sadao met in America, right? They both fell in love with each other, but they were never hasty in getting married, right? They fulfilled all the conditions. Then they went back to Japan, and then his father was happy, and when father was satisfied that the girl was actually from a pure race, she was a pure Japanese, then he gave his consent, and they got married in a traditional Japanese ceremony, right? So one day when they were standing in the balcony, right, and they were standing together, they were remembering the past time, right? And how was the scene outside? It was actually very foggy. They could not see because the last few days were very warm. That is why you could see the presence of fog everywhere, right? So it means low visibility, right? So on that day, Dr. Sadao and Hannah, they saw a figure appeared out of mist, right? And the figure was unable to walk. They were certain that it was a figure of man. They first thought that it was a fisherman who was washed ashore from a fisherman island that was miles apart, right? And the man, the one who was washed ashore, he could not walk. He was staggering, and then he fell on the ground. And it was very surprising for them because the beach where their house is constructed upon, it has rocky and a very spiky rocks, right? So it is there is no chance the man would have survived, but it was very surprising the man survived. And the one thing was sure, the man must have sustained a lot of injuries, right? So they ran towards him, and they found that he was bleeding profusely because they could see the blood stain on the sand. And when they turned the man, they were taken aback. They were shocked because they were startled because it was a white man. Who he was? He was a white man. And you're already aware that Japanese people and the American, they are not at good terms. They hate each other after what happened in the Second World War, and that nuclear bombarding in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, right? So they were surprised, and they were aware that the man who was lying there, it was their enemy. But Dr. Sadao, since he's a doctor, so his expert finger. Have you done this part? I think we have done this part. His expert finger. This is the rhetorical device can be called personification, because fingers are not expert. Understand? Expert or the person is expert. Finger cannot be expert, right? So this is personification, and this can also be an example of cynic dog, where the part of your body shows the whole. For example, I always give this an example: all hands on the deck. It means you're asking all the crew member to come to the deck and help the ship sail. Similarly, expert fingers mean expert Dr. Sadao. Understand? So it could be an example of cynic dog, and this could also be an example of personification, right? So he knew that the man who was lying there was his enemy, but his expert finger, because the doctor cannot resist such kind of situations, right? So his finger, they were automatically searching for the wound where he was bleeding from. Because if somebody is bleeding, what you need to do is, the first thing you need to do is stop the bleeding, because plenty of people die because of lack of blood or excessive bleeding, right? So now continue from the portion we will be going.
Yes, it was a wise man.
Okay, let me try now.
What shall we do with this man?
Yes, what shall we do with this man? The page number is? Okay, page number is 27. We will need. Start reading. Never mind. Start reading from page number 27. What shall we do with the man? Sadao muttered. But his trained hands, seems of their own, will be doing what they could be to stanch. Stanch means to restrict or to stop, right? To stanch the fearful bleeding. Now please, now you know where we are. You can start.
He packed them on with the sea moss that strewed the beach.
Strewed means spread everywhere, right? So what did he use to stop the bleeding? He used a sea moss to stop the bleeding. Understand? The algae, right?
The man moaned with pain in his stupor, but
Stupor means in his sleep, in his unconsciousness, right? The man was not, he was not awake, but when Dr. Sadao, when he put the moss on his wound, right? Obviously he felt the pain. So in his unconsciousness, he cried out of pain, right?
but he did not awaken.
The best thing?
The best thing that we could do would be to put him back in the sea, Sadao said, answering him.
Right, so Dr. Sadao is very confused because you're aware that he is facing the dilemma, right? So he doesn't know what to do. Although he's helping the man, but he doesn't know that what his final decision will be, right? So he thinks that, I think he is questioning himself, will it be the best thing if he will throw back the man into the sea?
Now that the bleeding was stopped for the moment, he stood up and dusted the sand from his hand.
Right. So luckily he was somehow he managed to stop the bleeding, right? And he stood up and he dusted his hands off, because if you will touch the wet sand, it will stick to your hands, right? So he dusted off.
Yes, undoubtedly that would be best, Hannah said steadily, but she continued to stare down at the motionless man.
Right. So Hannah also responded. She said that I think it would be the best if we would throw the man back into the sea. But she was kept staring at the most motionless man as if she was sympathizing with him, right?
If we sheltered a white man in our house, we should be arrested, and if we turned him over a prisoner, he would certainly die, Sadao said.
Right. So actually, both the condition was not in favor of the enemy, the prisoner of war, the injured person, right? Because if he shelters the man, I think everybody will be in trouble. Dr. Sadao, the man himself, and his family, right? And if we turn him over as a prisoner, the man will certainly die, right? And if the man will die, obviously he's a doctor, so he will not bear the sight of a dying man, right? So obviously, being a doctor, he needs to do something in order to save the man, irrespective of the fact what his caste, creed, or religion, right? Doctor doesn't see the caste, doctor doesn't see the religion, right? Its job is to treat. Understand?
The kindest thing would be to put him back into the sea, Hannah said. But neither of them moved. They were staring with a curious repulsion upon the inert figure.
Inert figure means that was not moving. Repulsion means resistance, right? So Hannah said the kindest thing is to put him back into the sea. But nobody, neither Dr. Sadao nor Hannah, they didn't move, right? None of them moved, and it seemed that that their inner self, there is something, because there is always an urge that will tell you what is wrong and what is right? So they feel the urge, and that is why they did not move to put the man back into the sea.
What is he? Hannah whispered. There is something about him that looks American, Sadao said. He took up the battered cap.
Battered cap means thing that is not in a good condition, right? Torn out or shabby.
Yes, they almost gone was the faint lettering. A sailor, he said, from an American warship. He spelled it out, U.S. Navy. The man was a prisoner of war.
Right. So they examined the man who was injured, and they checked his torn out cap, and they found there was the faint means very light, right? Faint lettering, and it says a sailor. So this man is a sailor. He's actually from a warship. Where is he from? He's from a warship, and he spelled it out, U.S. Navy. The man was actually a prisoner of war.
He has escaped, Hannah cried softly, and that is why he is wounded.
He's wounded, right? So the reason he is wounded, the reason he has got the bullet shot, because he tried to escape. And when he was escaping, obviously the keeper, right, the guard, they must have shot him, right? And that's how he got this wound.
They hesitated, looking at each other. Then Hannah said with resolution, "Come, are we able to put him back into the sea?"
If I am able, are you? Sadao asked, right? So Sadao is asking this question to his wife. Are you, if I'm not able to put him back, are you even able to put the man back, right? So they both are confused. They don't know, because this also shows that although Japanese and American people, they are like not in good terms, right? But I think the humanity rises above everything, right? Because this shows their humanity, because they have decided they would put the man back into the sea, but it is because the presence of humanity, they are unable to lift the dying man and to put him back into the sea, right? So that is why it is said that humanity wins over everything. Understand?
No, Hannah said, but if you can do it alone.
Even Hannah cannot put the man back to the sea, and she wants her husband, Dr. Sadao, to lead the man, and to lead the man.
Sadao hesitated again. The strange thing is, he said that if the man were whole, I could turn him over to the police without difficulty. I care nothing for him. He is my enemy. All Americans are my enemy, and he is only a common fellow. You see how foolish his face is, but since he is wounded.
So now he's Dr. Sadao. He's actually trying to comfort himself by saying, because you already know that Dr. Sadao's father, he was an Orthodox Japanese, right? And Dr. Sadao, he also takes pride in his country, right? So there is not, he will never do anything to betray his country or its pride, country's pride, right? So that's how he's comforting himself, that yes, I hate I hate the American. They are enemies, right? But this is a common fellow. For him, he's a common fellow, and since he's a doctor, he need to do something. Understand? You also cannot throw him back to the sea, Hannah said. Now Hannah also believes that her husband, he also cannot throw the man back into the sea. We must carry him into the house, right? And she says that, I think, keep following the line because I may ask you to do it anytime. So Hannah says that if we are unable to put the man back into the sea, I think now the best thing is to take the man inside the house. Understand? But the servants Sadao inquired, but Dr. Sadao and Hannah, they are not the only one who are living in their house. They have children and they have servants, right? So what will the servant think? We must simply tell them that we intend to give him to the police, as indeed we must. Sadao. So what is Sadao's explanation? He said that we would tell our servants that we only intend to treat the man, and once he has been treated, we will hand him over to the police, right? And obviously indeed means such much. We will literally do this. We will literally hand him over to the police, right? So we must think of the children in your position, but it is actually not a right decision, because this whole act of harboring an enemy, even if your intention is to hand him over to the police, later will land you into a big trouble. And not just you, your servants and your children too, right? Because you will all be deemed as traitor to a country, right? So it would danger all of us if we did not give this man over a prisoner of war. Certainly Sadao agreed. I would not think of doing anything else, right? Thus agreed together, and they could not find a solution. They lifted the man. He was very light, like a fowl. What is fowl? Fowl is called chicken. And what is the figure of speech Rehat already devised? Can anybody tell me? Because the comparison is being drawn between yes, it is simile, because prisoner has been compared with what? Chicken. Because and in what cases? A chicken who is half starved. Half starved means who has not given enough food, right? Or for a long time, and till the chicken loses its feathers and skeletons, right? Feathers, right? So this chicken becomes very light, right? Because of this process, that it was half starved, right? And similarly, because this prisoner, he was in captivity, so it means he was also half starved, right? He was not given enough food to eat. That is why he is very light, right? So that is why Dr. Sadao compares him with a fowl, with a chicken. Understand? So his arms hanging, they carried him up the steps and into the side door of the house. This door opened into a passage. They open a door, they slide the door, and this door leads to a passage. And down the passage they carried the man towards an empty room, and then they carried the man to an empty room, empty bedroom. It had been the bedroom of Sadao's father. And whose room is this? Sadao's father. Can you imagine? And now you will see this irony, because Sadao's father, he was such a true Japanese that he would not accept anything from America, right? And the irony is that they put the man to whose room? Dr. Sadao's father's house, right? His bedroom. Read. I think I forgot. Continue.
They laid the man on the dirty metal floor. Everything here had been Japanese to please the old man, who would never in his own home sit on a chair or sleep in a foreign bed. Hannah went to the wall cupboard and slid back a door, took out a soft quilt.
Quilt is a blanket, right? So they laid the man on the floor, right? And the man was kept on the room where you will find everything is, from Japan, right? No foreign things, no foreign objects. Foreign object means not anything that has no connection with Japan and its tradition, right? So she also she took out the quilt, the blanket, and she used the quilt and she spread it on the floor in a fear that the blood stain would the blood would stain the floor, right? The matted. She hesitated, and she also hesitated because the quilt was covered with flowered silk and linen was pure white silk. Actually, she's more worried about her at this point. She is more worried about her, her quilt, because it is soft, it is still, it is made of silk, it is expensive, right? So she was like she was hesitant, right? But then she forgot about everything because she's a human being, right? And yes, she has humanity. So she said, doesn't matter. She used it. He's so dirty, she murmured in distress, and she whispered to herself that the man is very dirty. And why not he be very dirty, right? Because he was washed ashore, he was lying on the sand, he fell on the sand, and he was completely covered with blood, right? So obviously he's dirty and he is giving out bad smell. Yes, he had better be washed. Sadao agreed. If you will fetch hot water, I will wash him. I cannot bear for you to touch him, she said. We shall have to tell the servants he is here. I will tell Yumi now. She can leave the children for a few minutes and she can wash him, right? So now we are introduced to a new character, the side characters, and it is one of their servants. Her name is Yumi, right? So Hannah doesn't want Dr. Sadao to wash an American man. Right, she doesn't want him to touch an American man. So she thinks she'll call Yumi, the servant, and they will ask Yumi to wash the injured man. Right? Read.
I cannot bear for you to touch him, she said. We shall have to tell the servant he is here. I will tell Yumi now. She can leave the children for a few minutes and she can wash him.
Right. Where was Yumi at that time? Yes. Yumi was attending children. Whose children? Dr. Sadao's children. They have 2 children, right?
Sadao considered a moment. Let it be so. He agreed. You tell Yumi and I will tell the others.
So Dr. Sadao, he agreed. He said, okay, you go and call Yumi, right? Meanwhile, he get what? Read.
But the utter pallor of the man's unconscious.
Pallor means there is the unhealthy condition of his face, right? Very pale face.
Face moved him first to stoop and feel his pulse.
Right, so before going out of the room, Dr. Sadao stooped. Stoop means he leaned forward and he checked the pulse of the man. It was faint. It was very weak, feeble. How was his pulse? It was there, but it was very weak. He put his hand against the man's cold breast. The heart was too yet alive, and he checked his heartbeat. The heartbeat was still there, right? He will die unless he is operated on, Sadao said. Considering the question is whether he will not die anyway, right? So Sadao says that the man is actually in a very critical condition, right? If he is not operated upon, he will die soon. And now the situation is very unfavorable. Even if he survived, right? He would die eventually. Why? Because he is a prisoner of war. He's in Japan, right? So Hannah cried out in fear, "Don't try to save him. What if he should live?" Right? So Hannah she's scared. What if the man lived? Everybody would be in trouble, right? If he would live, obviously the man, if he would live, there are chances that how would he escape, right? And what if he would get caught again? If he got caught, he would be again tortured. And what if he revealed everything about Dr. Sadao and all? So they will be in trouble, right? So that is why Hannah is scared. She is scared to death, right? What if he should die? Sadao replied. And now Sadao consider the implications. What will be the impact if the man dies? If the man dies, he stood gazing down on the motionless man. This man must have extraordinary vitality. Vitality means here it means courage or strength, or he would have been dead by now. So he stood for a moment and he glances over the man and he wonders that this is actually this man has a lot of courage. And it seems because if it had been somebody else, he would have died, right? And this man seems that he is hardly 25 because he has faced a lot of
Oh yeah. But then he was very young, perhaps not yet 25. You mean died from the operation?
Right, and there are actually he's in a very critical state that he's likely to die if Dr. Sadao starts operating upon him. So this is also a possibility that the man may not survive the operation, right? So Dr. Sadao is intending to do.
considered this doubtfully, but she did not answer. Sadao turned away. Then she did not answer. Sadao turned away. At any rate, something must be done with him, he said. And first, he must be washed.
Right, so there are so many things to do. She's worried, she's raising questions, and Dr. Sadao, he's also asking questions and he's not being answered. So he left everything behind and he said, considering the gravity of the situation, the seriousness of the situation, we have to do something first, right? So he says the first and foremost thing is that we will clean the man. The first thing is we should clean the man, right? Please keep following the track. He was the first she had seen since he left America, and now he seemed to have nothing to do with those whom she had known there. Here she was her enemy, a menace. Menace means threat, living or dead, right? So now she doesn't want to be left alone in the room, right? So she is actually, because Dr. Sadao has gone out, and also what happened? Because when she was in America, she knew a lot of people, but now she's not in contact in any one of them, right? Because now they are her, Americans are enemy. She turned to the nursery and called, Yumi, never mind, it's my period. Just continue. We'll continue for, just never mind the bell, we'll continue the chapter, right? At least for a moment, and then I'll give you some moment to relax, right? But please bear with me right now. So, what happened then? Where is she going? She is going to call Yumi, right? But the children heard her voice, and she had to go in for a moment and smile at them and play with the boy, now nearly 3 months old. So when she went to call, are you paying attention or not? When she went to call Yumi, right? So when she entered the room, the children, they also saw her, right? And when the children, they saw their mother, obviously, they will ask, or they will request, or they will, obviously they need their mother's presence, right? So she went there and she played with them for a while, and then she signaled, right? And played with the baby boy, nearly 3 months old. How old her baby? 3, right? Over the baby's soft black hair, she motioned with the mouth, Yumi, come with me, and she signaled her that you should come with me. Okay, the rest part we'll do later, right? After some time.